So let's wrap up chapter 7 and work through the apply your skills tasks. We are going to import the remaining inventory products that have been introduced in reinforce your skills. You all remember that table that we got here and where I told you just to add the first 3. So now we're going to import it and remember how importing went. So you can either go here, click import data and follow the instructions, or you're going to go in sales. You are on your product and services, and you're going to say, instead of new, you're going to say import. So then when you're here, you look for your exercise file. Going to click student, chapter 7, and import this file and check if these items here match with these items. If that is so, you just continue on with next. Check your data, if everything works out, if the sales price is really under the sales price, description, etc., etc. If that all works out for you, you say import, and I will just close it because I already have done that. After we imported it, the system asks us to extract a product and service list report. We're going here to reports, go into the product and service list, switch to view, and we will extract that. Let me make this a little bit bigger and just make sure you have the 3 new items in there. You have to correct export and you can submit it. All right, so the next one is apply your skills 2. And we are going to buy these items. It says create a purchase order. No problem, we're going to create a purchase order. I'm going into the vendor right quick because this is where I already did that. I'm going to open that. You, however, you're going to say plus purchase order. And this window will come up. You have the vendor. And as soon as you click the vendor, it should automatically auto-populate information that we entered before. For example, the mailing address. Then it says, let me make this a little bit smaller so we can read it at the same time. It says the date is September 10. We shipped it via UPS and we ordered 10 of the boomers, 20 of the Uber, and 10 of the SIP. We cannot enter the rate because it already has been set up back in the system. And we are not assigning these products to a client, so we're just going to leave that out. This will be auto-populated once we received it and put an invoice or a payment towards it. So please disregard this. This will be later. So say save and close. And if you check your vendor, Ays Groomer, you will see that a purchase order is here and you can actually print it or you can copy it or whatever you want. So sometimes copying is really a good idea if you do that quite often and you know, okay, it's always going to be the same and I'm just going to change the date or I'm just going to change the quantity or whatever it is. So sometimes you can use it. Sometimes I do not recommend using copies of a copy of a copy, because there's always something you have in your system that you may overlook to change, and then you get an error in it. If you have an empty field, you just have to enter the correct amount at the same time, at the right. Yeah, you just have to enter the correct amount immediately without overwriting something that you may miss. Okay, so we created a purchase order. Make sure the purchase order is $408. How can you check that? Well, we're going to receive the product and we're going to get a bill for $421, but it's $421 because we do have a delivery fee in there of $13. So the difference between these two amounts is $408, which should be our purchase order. So now we're receiving the purchase. I'm going to go here. We're going to click bill because we have not paid it yet. You will enter Ace Groomer. Remember that there will be a field popping up where we have the purchase order in the in that field. You're going to push add, and then we will have the quantities, the rate, the total amount, and everything that we worked on before that will now be here. Additional to that, we will put the delivery in here, $13, and you have a total amount of $421. This date, it should be September 14, is very important to put in. Do not leave it at September 10 to September 14, because we're going to pay some invoices. And if you have September 10 here, it will appear as payable, like you need to pay it right now or to the date that it will tell us to pay it. So we're making sure that we have the correct date. Otherwise, our accounts payables will be off and we may pay it too early. All right, so once you have entered everything and you double checked, you're going to say save and close. And they want you to go back to the dashboard and continue on with skill 7-3. I'm going to work through these. And we're going to work through that and we will be done. Okay, so we have some transactions here. First of all, remember that we are always using the 9% for our invoices and sales receipts. First, we see Arlene Garrison, who brought her small dog Joe in for a mini pet and also bought some small toys with a check for $544, total $46.75. So of course I did that already to show you around a little bit. Let me try to do the shortcut here and get to sales receipt 1055. Arlene Garrison, and it is the SAP client Joe. We have the sales receipt for September 9, a check, the check number, payment to deposit. It is a mini groom small one quantity, and then there's also a small toy one, and we have the LA sales tax of 9%, and it should be $46.75, which is given here. And when you hit save, you should have a receipt number of 1055. So I'm going to say save and close. You can say save and new because Bonnie also brought her dog in, and it will be a check as well. So that was with a check, that was with a check. So you say plus sales receipt. I will go in here and open up the client, or I can actually go to Bonnie, Zoe, Missy, and open it up here. So we have Bonnie, We have Missy. It is still September 9. Check number 8977, payments to deposit. We have a full groom for a small dog, and we have also a small toy. She actually bought 3 small toys. So here's the three small toys. The amount is $105.24. And we are continuing on to the next one. I will say save and close. Now we're writing an invoice because Greenway Kennel has agreement with us that we actually give them a little bit of a term. They don't have to pay it right away. They also get a better rate. So we're just going to put that in. It's September 10. Going to say plus an invoice. Everything will be auto-populated. You have a net of 30 days. Your invoice date is September 10. It tells us we brought in 7 dogs. And they also bought 14 toys. Everything is medium. Don't forget the sales tax, and the amount is $504. I'm going to say save and close and go to Allison Ball. So Allison Ball, it's a sales receipt. And she paid cash. So we are in the sales receipt. It's Allison. It's September 16. She paid cash, no reference number, payments to deposit. And she had bought 2 zip flying discs, which we have here. We're going to put the sales tax on it, and we are leaving this journal entry with $56.57. Save and close. And we continue to the next Greenway and Kennel, which should be an invoice. Greenway Kennels, net 30, September 16. We have bath and brush and toys. Everything is medium. So they brought in 7 dogs and they returned 4 of the toys they previously bought. So a return in an invoice this way will be indicated by a negative sign in front of the 4. And we also need to check our tax. The tax is 9%. And we're closing this invoice with $98.94, which is also given here. All right, save and close. And we're going to the last entry, which is Windmere Kennels, which is up here. And they brought in 5 dogs for a small mini pet groom. And they purchased also 5 Uber Jive balls. Okay, this is correct. The date is September 17, which we also have. The tax is indicated 9%, and the total amount is $225.08. So we say save and close. And we are done with all of this. Next, prepare an inventory evaluation detail report for all dates, export it to Excel, and then of course you have to submit it. So we're going to do the inventory valuation detail. Okay, it does not give us a specific date. At least I cannot really see that. So this is the report I have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my file here. This is the inventory valuation detail report. And you see that there were items deducted. There was just one little problem, and I will show you in a minute. Let me get the feedback file very quick open. So you can actually see there was something wrong with the Uber Jive ball transaction. I will go here. I can see, and this comment regards the complete line. That's why there's so much written. But you can see that my invoice number was supposed to be 1060 and not 1061. That is because I deleted an invoice previously, and then you cannot go back and override the 1060 because the 1060 was already assigned. So this was the mistake I made, but the rest was okay. So if I now compare that to my report, and I always start with either the date, if the date is a crucial thing, or the numbers. So here we have 99.50. Then we have 164. Well, that's a good thing that I just checked that, because obviously something is not correct. So we have to get in here and see what is not correct. Then we have $49.87, $149.87. We have that again. So that is correct, but this vendor credit, we'll just have to investigate that one more time. I'm not sure why this is not in here. It is supposed to be in there if there's a legit vendor credit. So let's go in here and see what's up. And I think I know already why this is telling me this vendor credit, because we are going to have a return of 10. So by showing you this report itself is correct at a later point, but at this point, this report will not be correct because of the 10 returns. So that's why I'm setting this up here. So if yours looks like this, the numbers are correct. If that is correct, except here, it has to be a 1060, not a 1061. If that is correct, then you'll be fine. Okay, you can submit it in your inventory valuation detail. But I could go here and I could say, well, you know, let's run the date from wherever to 9/17/2026, run report. Okay. And you will see that these 10 items that have been returned are now gone, and it is 164. So opening it up a little bit bigger, and you can see these are the numbers that should be in your system. So let's work on the last part. The last part is return a purchase for credit and pay a bill. So you're going to do a vendor credit. You're going to say plus vendor credit. So here's what I don't like. It just tells us, oh, they returned some toys. But who did we buy the toys from? It doesn't say, because usually you have something that helps you identify the vendor. So I'll make it easy on myself because I know it was Hollypod Sign, because we bought all of these toys with them. Okay, so I go in here, go into my vendor, look for Hollypod Sign, and you can see that we bought that here. Here's the purchase order and here's the bill. And so when you click here and say vendor credit, a new window will pop up. And then it would look like this. You fill in the vendor, you say the date, which is, looky, I can see this date is incorrect. It should be 9/18. So we're just doing this right now. And then we're choosing the large ones because these large Toppy treat toys have been returned, 10 of them. It's $109.50. It does not give us a reason why it has been returned, so I suggest not to put anything in the memo and just keep it as is. We verified the date again. We actually changed it to the correct date. I'm going to say save and close. Okay. And now we move on to number 2. So here's the thing. I have not done that yet because I wanted to do that together with you. We are going to pay the bills. And it says on September 24, we pay all the bills that are due on or before September 22nd. This is on, and this is before, and this is after. And you remember that I stressed out that state will be very important. So now it becomes important. If you wouldn't have changed it to September 14 and left it at September 10, it would be payable on September 20, and you would automatically click it because the book just says, hey, whatever is payable right now, and you would have a mistake. And it's really, really hard to get this undone easily. So you just try to do it right the first time, and that's why I didn't go ahead and did it myself. I wanted you to see why it is so important to do that. Okay, so the payment is on September 24. We're going to print it immediately, and the first check is 10/019. It states it here. And we're going to say save and print. But if you aren't sure if this is correct, you are going to utilize this little cheat sheet here. And you're going to look for September 24, because this is where we're paying our bills. And you can see we're writing 2 checks. One is number 19, one is number 20, one is for $85, and one is for $338.25. And there's nothing else we pay on that day. So this cheat sheet really comes in handy when you don't feel comfortable about doing something. Okay, so we go back to this. We say, yes, we want to pay that. Save and print. These are the 2 checks we are going to print, and make sure that you have a 10/019 here. Okay. And we're going to say preview and print. Here we go. We're going to say print. Now it recognizes it as print, even though it's just a PDF that we look at. And then we say close. It will ask us if it was okay. We say yes, and it's gone. So we're done with this. We printed the checks, and now we are creating a sales by product service summary. Going to go in our reports. Sales by product and service summary between 9/1/2026 and 9/18/2026. Run the report, and you will have that right here. Okay, so let's see if that's correct. We're going to go into our eLab assignments. Going to go to chapter 7. Here's the sales by product service summary. Let's look at my feedback file. And you will see that the amounts are the same. And you are good to go to submit that. All right, is there anything else in the book that we need to consider? Yes, they want us to figure out if these numbers are correct. Because so far we only extracted reports regarding service and products, but that does not mean that any of these accounts are correct. So how are you going to do this? Well, I go into a chart of account. This is what I utilize the most. Chart of account is something people in accounting should really familiarize themselves with. And so we're looking here, the Los Angeles City Bank is correct. Yay on that. Let's move on to the credit union, which is down here. It's also correct. So yay, we have 2 already. Then we're going to go in our inventory asset. That is also correct. Accounts receivable, correct. Accounts payable, correct. And if you are at this point, you've done with chapter 7, you did an awesome job, and I'm very proud of you all. I know sometimes it can be tricky. Just don't hesitate to contact me. I'm not perfect, but I will help you find whatever we have to find. And sometimes it's not even you. I have a student who frequently emails me, and I'm really, really glad that student does that, because I see myself doing some mistakes because I cannot focus 100% on my entries all the time. And when I receive an email and I look at what that person did, I look at what I did, I look what it should be, and then I see, hey, I actually did that mistake. I didn't mention that, or, you know, I went ahead and didn't follow the sentence correctly, or whatever it is. Just shoot me a text message, not a text message, an email, and we will figure it out. Okay, thanks for your time, and we will see you in chapter 8.